My dear friends, we have begun the holy season of Lent that started last Ash Wednesday, and 40 days will conclude on the eve of Palm Sunday. The season of Lent is the most dramatic season of the year as the earth is transitioning from winter to spring. Of course, in Florida, it goes straight to summer. But the earth, in this 40 days count, exactly 40 days, will slowly align with the moon and the sun. This perfect alignment in the ancient Hebrew calendar, they call this the 14th day of Nisan. 1S. If you double that, it will become a car. That's where the Japanese got the concept of alignment. Day and night are equal, and the temperature is perfect, it's just right, and the earth is bursting again with life. This season of Lent is the dramatic transition at this time of the year. Every year, God gives the earth another chance for life. You look around and the earth is waking up. Look at the trees and the plants, they are all waking up. The leaves and the flowers are coming back, which gives us a very vivid display of the power of God in control of the universe, giving the earth another chance. The church invites us to join the earth in this drama of transition. Just like the landscapers are cutting off the dead branches that dried up in winter, we have practices, we have this season where we look into ourselves and cut off all those dead aspects of our lives so that when the earth fully blooms, our soul, we also have a chance for life. That is to put the season of Lent in few words. It is the transitioning from death to life. Now, the gospel reading today is the first Sunday on that temptation of the Lord. He was just baptized, and he is going to start his public ministry. And the first thing that he did was to go to the wilderness in order to strengthen, to put his goals clear. And he started fasting. He didn't eat anything. And then he was tempted by the devil 3 times. Okay? Now, we will go into how Jesus responded to the devil. And here we will learn a lot of things from his responses. And then that will give us the true meaning of the season of Lent in terms of our spiritual life. And finally, the reason why Jesus won over the devil, the reason why he triumphed over the temptation of the devil. What was the secret that made him win against this temptation? So, the first one was, he was so hungry, he didn't eat anything, and the devil said, command these stones to become bread. And Jesus answered, man does not live on bread alone. This first response will give us a better, deeper understanding of the meaning of fasting, which is an ancient practice. Now, all religions have fasting, even those centuries ahead of us, like the Hindus, the Buddhists, Then we have the Jews, and then the Muslims later on. These religions have fasting. First, we will go into the health benefits of fasting. Why is fasting good for health? And then later on, we will go into Jesus elevated this practice into something more, not just refraining from food, but he gave us a deeper meaning of fasting, and then the real meaning, the true meaning of this practice. Now, we know that everything that we eat is intended to give energy for the body, okay, to maintain the body. So whatever we consume, metabolism will handle the breakdown of the food, the stomach, and then they will be absorbed by the veins to pump to the lungs, and the lungs will break down this into nutrients, and then once they are purified and broken down, the arteries will pump them all over, the blood. The heart will pump these nutrients to the entire body to feed the cells. Toxins are handled by the liver and the kidney and the other organs. Now, when we eat excessive food and the body cannot break down the extra, they will be stored in the body. Protein goes to the muscles, fat becomes fat, and then sugar is transformed into fat all over the body. And when it is too excessive, the danger is they might clog the organs. And when the organs are clogged, they will hamper the functioning of the body will break down, and you have disease. It will be sick because the functioning is hampered. Now, fasting, refraining from excessive food will give the body a longer time and chance to break down the food, the nutrients. It will give the body a longer time. So if you don't overdo, you are helping actually the body to handle what it can handle. And so it is healthy. Fasting is healthy. That is why all religions, even Jesus, did fasting. It is healthy, it's good for the body. And he elevated that into something more. He said fasting is not just refraining from food, but do other good things like helping the poor, freeing the oppressed, helping the needy, and all this. He said it isn't just limited to not taking anything in your body, but something more. And ultimately, the meaning of fasting is that we become less self-centered and more centered on Jesus. That is really the meaning. Giving Jesus space in our bodies, in our person, so we will be less self-centered and that Jesus becomes more visible in our lives. That is the meaning of the response. Man does not live on bread alone, but Jesus should be the center of our lives. The second response, the devil showed him all the power and the wealth in the world, and the devil said, all of this will be yours if the price is right. You didn't get the joke. If you worship me. Okay, now, what are the things that we worship? What are the things that are important to us? When you worship something, your heart goes with the thing. All your time, all your space is for that something. The problem with worshiping the wrong thing is that they are passing. And if you put your heart on something passing, you'll be in trouble. You'll be sad. If you put your heart on something that will not linger, but you will lose, how painful is that? That is why Jesus said, "You shall worship God alone, and Him you shall serve." Because the end purpose of worship is union, that you are one with something that you love. How can you be one with something that you love when they disappear? You know, many things in life that people worship, like fame, like prestige. We worship that. But you know, prestige is passing. In the beginning, people love you because you're so talented, but then the time will come that they get tired of applauding. And then you don't buy your tickets anymore. And what will happen? You get crazy, you get arrested, and you go to rehab. That's what fame is. Beauty, the same thing. It peaks when you're 15, 16, 17, and then you reach a certain age, everything goes south. That's a problem with beauty. And then even money, passing, all of this. So Jesus said to the devil, worship God alone, because God is the one that will stay, that will linger. He is unchangeable, and that you will experience fulfillment because you are united with the one you worship. That was the response. Now, the third response of the devil said, if you are the Son of God, jump. And the angels will catch you, so you won't be harmed. What was the answer of Jesus? Thou shalt not put the Lord your God to the test. Okay? Do not put the Lord your God to the test. How do we put God to the test? When we blame Him when something goes wrong. People blame God when something goes wrong. When something don't work in our lives, people don't want to take responsibility over their actions. They blame somebody. Oh, it's the fault of my parents, or my school, my neighborhood, or it's the fault of China. Everybody's blaming somebody. People don't want to take responsibility over their actions. We put God to the test when we blame Him all the time. When something goes wrong in our lives, do not put the Lord your God to the test. Don't blame Him all the time. Take responsibility over your actions. It's my fault. I have to answer for my actions. People will love you more if you're brave enough to stand and say, I'm sorry, I did it. You will be more trusted and appreciated if you have the strength to accept your fault. When you blame God, you put Him to the test. These are the three responses of Jesus, which hopefully will help us live through these 40 days, look into ourselves, so that when Easter comes, we will have true life, new life. God is giving us a chance for life.